I call the meeting to order for the April 9th, 2024, 6:30 Town of Fairview Town Council meeting. And Gary Wolfong, the mayor, calling this meeting in order. This time, I'd like to ask Patricia Kenley to do the invocation.
Could we bow, please? Our kind and gracious Heavenly Father, even in the misty rain of today, we appreciate the beauty of your creation. We seek your presence with us tonight. Lead us and guide us in all the decisions that we make that are intended to be the best decisions for our residents of Fairview. Hear our prayers. Amen.
Thank you. Who else we stand for the pledge of allegiance? I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You may be seated. Okay, the agenda changes. I want to add one change, and if anyone else will has something they would like to add, I think this addition, I'll let you come make this the presentation at the time. The agenda change I would like to add is that at the end of the council comments, I'd like for us to go into closed session to discuss real estate discussion. So that will be at the end of the closed the council comments, add the agenda change, closed session for a real estate discussion. So I hear a motion of approval of the agenda.
I move that we approve the agenda as amended.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you. Okay, this time also, you have the consent agenda in front of you. You've had the opportunity to review that, and you reviewed it and agree with it. I also need a motion for the approval of the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
I second.
Any further discussion? All in favor, uplifted hand. Thank you, that passes unanimously. Okay, at this point in time, it's time for public comments. We have one person signed by Gary Sides. I think you're the newly elected county commissioner. We welcome you to Fairview.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor. I better be careful what I say now.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you, Mayor and Council. I currently have the honor, my name is Gary Sides, I currently have the honor of serving on your Board of Education. I know for all of us, we're getting ready for budget time, and particularly for your school system, it will be difficult. As you may have read, a significant amount of COVID funding, which we refer to as ESSER funds, have ended. And so we are scrambling to save what we can of valuable programs that we've initiated. And as I've also mentioned, in December 2nd, I will be changing my day job to one of your county commissioners. And over my probably 20 years of involvement in Union County politics, one of the things that has struck me that I'm particularly determined to change is the relationship between your county government and our municipalities. I've noticed over time it's been poor communications and even sometimes an adversarial relationship. And I am determined to change that. So I am embarking upon a speaking tour, if you will, of visiting the various towns, trying to attend as many meetings as possible. I live in Monroe, so I started meeting in Monroe, and now tonight Fairview. I'll have a hard time getting to everybody because, of course, we have meetings ourselves, the Board of Education, which fall on the same night as several of our municipalities. But I'm going to do the best I can because personally, I know I can't do it alone. I need your help, your input, your willingness to reach out when you have issues affecting your area or the county has issues that affect your area. And I appreciate and look forward to a very open dialogue. On a completely different subject, I wanted to commend you on your town park. I visited, several days ago before this rain hit, and I was very, very impressed. You have a nice park there with the pond lake, whatever, it's called there. And so, for a municipality your size to have that nice a facility, I want to commend you. And I promise you, I come out the back way and then hit 601 from where I am in Monroe. So you may see me up there every once in a while, walking. I don't run much anymore, but I might hit the walking trail. But anyway, I want to commend you. And if I can be of service, please feel free to reach out to me, either on a Board of Education issue or moving forward in the county. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Any other comments at one time? If you have come in, as far as presentations, anyone that's coming late, have a presentation we need to be aware of that they would like to make. Okay. At this point in time in the meeting, we're at the items of business. Under the item of business, 8A, it's discuss non-conforming North Carolina 24019 request from Jeffrey C. Wiles to add a pool in the front yard of his home at 1108 Lester Mullis Road. And I'll turn this over to Ed to discuss the
Yes,
details.
this is a request by Jeffrey Wallace to put a pool in his front yard, and I know that sounds sort of unusual, but in your ordinance, you have the opportunity to look at non-conforming items and permit on, or not permit, or add to, whatever non-conforming items. A non-conforming item is a grandfathered item under the county, probably when we became the town of Fairview. But it does not meet our ordinance, so it becomes, under us, non-conforming. It doesn't conform to our ordinance. Our ordinance does not let you put the house at the back of the lot to where you can't put anything else on the lot except in the front yard. We like things on the backyard or the side yard. But it does give you an opportunity to look at it, and if you feel like it warrants an exception, you can certainly do that. Under the, with a special use permit under the quasi-judicial hearing. So if you will look at your page 31, probably gives you a pretty good idea of what I'm talking about. 1997, he bought this property from his aunt, so the property, right now, I would not permit a house to be built like that on the lot. That's unacceptable. We couldn't get the setbacks. So the setback today would be where you would have a backyard and a front yard. The property would be up where I've got the pool is now. You would have a house. But you can see right now, he doesn't have a backyard. He wants a larger pool. And you can permit additional structures to be built on lot where the non-conforming use is located, within which structures are non-conforming can be enlarged. So you can enlarge the structures on a non-conforming or permit new ones. Copy of the deed is page 35. Look a little bit different. Here's a drawing of the house and the pool, page 37, which gives you an idea of where the pool is going to be in relation to the house. Being quasi-judicial, it was advertised in a newspaper, and we also notified everybody within 500 feet of the location. So with that, I'll answer any questions you might have. It's pretty straightforward, I think.
Do we have any comments from anybody?
I didn't have any comments from you.
There's a fence that's going to go around the
The
pool.
fence, that's the only condition, and they offer that. The fence is going to, and there's probably a little picture of that, sort of, and it's an odd lighting picture on page 36. If you turn it sideways, there's the house. and there's the pool with the fence around it. Went out there the other day and they have plenty of front yard to do this, and it won't take away, I don't think, from the value or the appearance of the property in any way. I asked the next door neighbor, the closest one, how she felt about it, and she said she didn't have any problem with it. And that was, Miss Chrissy Black on the planning.
And that fence is the solid fence facing the road and then open fence to the back.
Right. Questions?
Questions? Okay, just to confirm that it is, there are no,
This is a quasi-judicial.
like, to confirm there are no public comments at a point in time, so
You
we
have to
have.
open the public
You have to
hearing.
open the public
Oh, okay, I'm sorry. Public comments, I'm opening the public hearing this time. Anyone have to comment, they like to make?
You didn't have anybody sign up. Any comments on that? Well, let's go out.
Okay, close the public hearings this time. As part of the process we go through, we have to have a finding of fact. And we need a motion and then a finding of fact, is that correct? I need someone to make a motion as to the non-conforming North Carolina 24019 request from Jeffrey C. Wallace to add a pool in the front yard of his own at 1108 Lester Mullis Road. Do I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
Pat, finding of facts first. I'm sorry.
Finding of facts.
My mistake.
So I'll make a motion on, number one, the proposed special use will not materially endanger the public safety, health or safety, because of the way they designed it with the fencing around that. And then I will also make a motion that the proposed special use will not substantially injure the value of the adjoining or abutting properties because of the design.
You will need to vote on each one.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, we have a motion for finding of fact. Number one.
I'll second.
Okay, no further discussion, all in favor, let's look at that. Okay, then we need, if you want to go back and, do number two, or is the motion?
Sure. The proposed special use will not substantially injure the value of the adjoining property or adjoining or abutting property because of the design.
Okay, we've got the motion made, have a, all in favor, let's look at that.
Second. You got your second.
Second.
Okay, number three, let's go and make a motion.
I make a motion that, the proposed special use, will be in harmony with the area in which it is to be located, because a home pool, in a fenced-in yard will not change the harmony of the yard itself with the surrounding area.
Second.
Okay,
Yes.
okay, and then number four, please. Another motion.
The proposed special use will be in general conformity with the land use plan, thoroughfare plan, or other plan, because the landowner has no other choices, and the required screen fencing will help that to, we'll take care of that situation.
Second.
All in favor? That motion passes. With that being said, we've approved all four finding of fact. At this time, we need to have a approval or not approval of non-conforming North Carolina 24019 request to add a pool in the front yard of 1108 Lester Mullis Road with the condition that the pool be fenced in.
To include the motion to approve should include the following zoning statement.
And to include the following zoning statement. Perhaps one to make the motion.
I'll make a motion to approve. The proposed zoning amendment under consideration is found reasonable and consistent with the recommendations of town adopted comprehensive plan, the town of Fairview Land Use Plan revised March 9th, 2021, and the Town of Fairview Land Use Plan ordinance effective July 1st, 2005.
I'll second.
And all in favor of the thing? Motion passes, so that, we have approved the non-conforming, request from Jeffrey C. Wallace as approved. Okay, 8B, the next item of business.
When can we come to the pool?
Yes,
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Gary's bringing the food. Be careful. They'll be there.
We'll welcome them. Thank y'all
You're very welcome.
very much.
Okay, 8B, next item of business, discuss the park site plan, the amphitheater area. We have a quote from Banesh for $30,300. Ed, would you like to address that?
My name was on this, I don't know why, but I'll give you a little history on that. Of course, with the master plan and with the input from the community, our next improvement to the park would be the amphitheater. That amphitheater includes a stage and the surrounding area with sidewalks, and maybe a bathroom connected to the pond trail. In order to do that, the first thing you have to have is a site plan. So I suggested, why don't we get John Wood at Beneath. He and his company have done work for the park from day one. We're familiar with it, we're happy with his work as of last time, and let him go ahead and start the site plan of the amphitheater. And there's a picture, I think, on page
43.
43.
Yes.
It's not a very good picture, it doesn't show the whole thing, but it'll give you an idea of what we're talking about as far as site plan. To include the sidewalks around it, how do you get to it, the seating, the topo like we would want it. The next step then would be hire your contractors to perform site plan. So this is the first step of providing the amphitheater. The next step in the master plan. And
Based upon the diagram here on page 43, is everyone comfortable with the layout and what exactly that is in reference to the pond and so forth? Like I said, this is there will be, probably extensive grading taking place, and
Do we provide them with the layout? We gave them kind of this concept layout?
they're the ones that produce it.
Okay, all right. So that's the original area and design, and we kind of went to start.
That's all the master plan.
Yeah, exactly, the master plan. Okay, thank you.
But without, if you say, well, if we want to start it, well, you don't take a bulldozer out there and start grading the, whatever. You gotta have a plan so you can bid the project. We have gotten several local contractors interested in providing the site plan improvements and also the stage. So it may, what I would predict would be we'd hopefully get the site plan done this year in the amphitheater.
They'll come back to us with a full site plan with construction details and all that we can pass on to a GC to say,
I will have it.
here's what we want.
And would you want, just to give you an example as far as the, we have to start somewhere, and Ed has made contact with some a local individual, which is involved in construction, and explained to him what we were thinking and what the site plan included, and he's extremely interested in talking to us once we figure out our site plan as to what he might be able to work with us and do in the construction of the stage. So we had to start somewhere, and this is the start. Since Banesh has been in at the very beginning, we go ahead and couple their work in the past. So.
We like him, and he's already got the stuff, and he'll do it as reasonable as anybody. We had to start over with somebody that doesn't have all the stuff that he needs to perform.
And then the part of the understanding we have with him that he's the site planning part. If we want to go to someone else to do the work, that's our option as well.
Right. We can be at the individual whatever after we get the construction drawings. We can do that ourselves.
There, the funds for this is, we have any of those grant funds that we can use for the payment of this?
I think in the scope of work, didn't y'all include that in the scope of work?
Well, I'm confused about which 250.
Yeah, I know,
they're
that's,
coming out of.
Well, I was assuming it's coming out of the new 250, the next 250.
Well, that's what we said it's, because I thought we'd already spent the other.
No,
Obviously, we haven't.
I was under the impression it was coming under the original 250 because we have a deadline when we have to spend that money.
exactly.
Well, I'm gonna check on that tomorrow. I'm not sure that we have a deadline on the first 250. And I know we do on the second.
But we do have leftover from the first
We
250 to be able to cover this
Yes.
30,000.
But I'm not sure it's,
Well, I was making an assumption based upon the, American Legion got their 250 the same time that we got our 250, and we had the deadline of 24, we had to have our money spent.
really, okay.
So I don't know.
I think either pot would be fine. It comes out the same.
But we do have a pot.
Yeah, we got 350,000.
Yeah.
In the pot, so it's just a matter of which grant.
Yeah.
Which pot we take?
We'll be able to use it out of grant money for the 30,000.
Yeah, and y'all included the amphitheater, I think, in the scope of work. didn't you?
Yes.
See, the 250, I've already spent, we've already spent that next year on the amphitheater and the site plan. I don't think we'll have enough to spend. Maybe we'll want bathrooms back there. We may not get to the bathroom, but we'll have everything.
Yeah, but this is covered under the part of the 250, one of the.
One of them, yes.
So do we, going into further discussion, we make an assumption, does it make a difference? We make an assumption that this 30 is coming out of the original 250? Do we need to, is that something we're, have no problem not
Actually,
doing?
have to know right now.
It's gonna come from the grant money.
Right, okay.
Daryl's gonna check on which one is appropriate. If it is the second one, which you've got some information tonight.
Yeah.
To vote on it, if it is that one, then we can always change the scope. If we wanna spend it out of the first pot, we can change the scope of work on the second project.
That's fine, especially if you've got a termination date on the first 250.
But he's gonna check that. We're all of the assumption that the termination date's October of this year. He doesn't think so, so we're going with him. Yeah, but he's gonna check that.
That's
Yeah.
fine.
I think it was Teresa that came up with that date. I don't know.
Doesn't matter, if there's a termination date, we need to use it before it
That date's
closes.
good.
I'll do
Use it
it for
before you lose.
forgiveness.
Yeah. Thanks, Darryl.
And with that being said, before we go any further, do we don't want any more discussion among ourselves before we go into the next step, if we'd like to go that way? So do we, I'm looking for a motion to, accept the quote, with Ganesh, to go ahead and start to work towards the site plan for the amphitheater.
And giving you the authority to sign the contract.
Right. And what he said.
I move that we approve this quote from Ganesh for $30,300 and also authorize the mayor to sign the contract.
We have a second. All those in favor, fill up with your hand. Thank you very much, that passes. Okay, 8C, this discussed Brook Sales Incorporated quote of $20,100 for RTV for the park, and this came about, and Mr. Sides mentioned our park and what we have over there, and part of the discussion, and you may not be aware of it, but the original park was 14 acres. We've added 65 more acres to the park. Wow. So we have about 80 acres, and part of the plan we've been doing, for those that may not be aware of it, on that, the additional land we added a trail that's about a mile and a half length out and back that's in place. It's goes out to Crooked Creek and as the park expands, the park people now that take care of the park have been limited to their work of the original 14 acres. As we expand out, we felt like we needed have some way to be able to go out and take better care of the park, whether it be picking up trash or branches, and also if somebody gets up there and has trouble getting back, we also have a way to help those guys. So that's what this RTP is for the park employees to look after the park and be sure that we can keep it in the state as you see it. And And that's what this quote is based on, for that RTV with the, has a dump, a hydraulic dump in the back. And so I'm looking for any discussion that you may have for us when we get into the next session about that.
Where will we park?
And this is the plan. For those that, you know, the property, or the house that's on the property has a building in the back. And, the people that are renting the property said there's room in there to store it there. And if we agree with them, we'll store it there, and they live there, and they'll be able to, look over. Plus, you know, we've just hired another employee to look after things in the park, and that'll be part of his job, is to make sure it's taken care of. So that's the plan at this point in time.
Do we have a way to lock it up, or I mean, that's easily stolen?
What we'll have to do now, that may be one more thing, and that's not including this amount here, it's open on the back. There's 2 ATVs in there now that the people that live in the house have rented. Would have to come up with some way to fortify the opposite end, the back end of the building, to keep it from being stolen. But this is something we want to go ahead and start the process. The quote we got here is higher than the original quote, because things are going up in price, and we want to go ahead and lock in, and then get it when we're ready to accept it and ready to keep it, you know, secured. So that's part of our discussion. They said that'll work out. If we're comfortable with that, we'll proceed. If it looks like we can't do what we like to do to secure it, we'll may have to go back and hold off and work out those details later.
The metal building has an opening in the back, so we can fence that and lock it.
You can fence it, there's lots of options to securing it. With ours, we have locking mechanisms that you can lock the wheels out. Just make it more difficult.
Like I said, the family that's living there and plans on being there for a while is also taking care of the maintenance of the park. So they're always there. So I think that's a really good thing.
But our new associate, the one that's doing all the heavy work, he'll be responsible.
He will be responsible for it on a day-to-day basis.
Part of his job would be to fortify that back and everything too.
So if there's no further discussion, we have a motion.
Just a quick question, we don't have to pay sales tax on that, or we file for a refund of it, or?
Refund.
And this also is coming out of grant money, right?
Yes.
Right.
I'll make a motion that we accept the quote from Brook Sales for the purchase of the RTV
We
for
have
the park.
a second.
Second.
All in favor? Thank you, and we'll keep you in the loop as to where we are in the, actually picking it up or having it delivered, and what the status is of the. At that point in time, no other business was added to our business items of business, so at this point in time, we are down to council comments. Staff comments.
I don't think I have any tonight.
Good, thank you.
Gerald, you're gonna check on the, yeah. Spencer?
Good too?
Good. Good. Well, at this point in time, we mentioned earlier on our change to agenda, we're gonna go into closed session this time, and those will likely have the council, Teresa, Ed, and Daryl. We thank everyone else that was in attendance tonight. Very appreciate your comments. Look forward to working with you in the future.
Thank
you. And we'll take a 2 or 3 minute break. As y'all exit, we're going to a closed session and then discuss it, and then look forward to seeing you in the next meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It'd be a record.
Right here. Right.
68.
I was thinking he was 68.
Okay.
Thank you.
Everything's fine.
Yeah, we can just ask to go to Jeff.
Thank y'all. Yes, sir. Thank you very much. Good luck with it.
It's like an hour.
He's choosing the bar.
I can hear Jeff playing. Yeah. That's right.
No, I don't want to. I'm leaving.
I didn't think you did.
It's that kind of.
No, thank
But
you.
I need it to be on YouTube. Can I tell me to get off of that?
Are you wanting to
Yeah.
stay on it?
Uh-huh.
Oh, boy.
No, I can't do that. Can I?
No.
Can't, yeah, you. Okay.
Uh-huh.